Now on 18 Eyewitness News.
Parts of the diverging Diamond Interchange in Farmington are being completed. Clearwater schools move forward with their bond sale. Plus, a Democratic state Senate candidate receives 2 endorsements. All of these stories, and are we going to see triple-digit temperatures before the end of the week?
Coverage you can count on. This is 18 Eyewitness News.
Hello, everybody. Thanks for joining us. I'm Fred Dawkins, and here are the top stories we're working on for you at this hour. Work on the diverging Diamond Interchange at Highway 67 and Route 221 in Farmington is moving right along. Missouri Department of Transportation resident engineer Jason Williams says part of the project that was started back in April has already been completed.
The contractor has finished the bridge redeck and has poured the median barrier curb that folks probably see that runs down the median of the bridge that will divide traffic ultimately when this is converted to the diverging Diamond Interchange.
Williams adds another part of the project will be completed next week.
The contractor is also working on the Walker Drive connection there at Dairy Queen. Should have that done before the 4th of July holiday weekend.
Williams tells 18 Eyewitness News that the contractor will then begin working on the west connection to Walker Drive directly across from Progress Drive. Well, now Dustin Kopp is here with a look at our first forecast. Is it going to be a hot one, Dustin?
Good evening, Fred. Good evening, everybody. Temperatures are on the warm side here in southeast Missouri. Didn't get as warm as it did yesterday, but they're still warm out there. 87 degrees in Cape Girardeau, 86 in Fredericktown, Piedmont, and Poplar Bluff at 87, and 87 in Ellington, 84 in Potosi, as well as in Festus. Tonight, we're going to start cooling off just a little bit. 81 at 7 p.m. Sunny skies, clear skies, and 73 by 9. And midnight, we'll see a temperature around 64 degrees. A lot of summertime heat is on the way. I'll show you that in the 7-day forecast coming up later in weather.
The Clearwater School District is taking the next step after voters approved the Proposition Kids bond issue this April. School Superintendent Blaine Keel says at last week's board meeting, trustees approved 2 resolutions to actually sell the bonds. 2 resolutions were needed because there are 2 types of bonds, general obligation and qualified zone academy or QZAD bonds. Now, Keel tells 18 Eyewitness News the $384,000 in QZAD bonds are interest-free to the school district.
Now, they pay interest, but what happens is after the sale of the bonds, the people that buy the bonds they receive interest, but we're reimbursed the amount of interest by the federal government. So it's really the federal government pays the interest, so we have no interest in those bonds.
The remaining $2.6 million will be made up of general obligation bonds. Keel says the bond sale is expected to take place sometime in mid-July. State Representative Joe Fallert has received 2 endorsements in his campaign for the 3rd District State Senate seat. The 3-term St. Genevieve Democrat has received the backing of Missouri Right to Life and the Missouri Family Policy Council. Now, Fallert tells 18 Eyewitness News his focus as a representative will be in the Senate serving his constituents.
One of my sayings for running for the Senate is, I just like to bring some common sense and compromise back to the General Assembly and especially the Senate. I don't think that's something we've seen the last couple years is compromise, and that ties to common sense. Whether you're talking about tax credits, you can be an ideologist, but at the end of the day, you should be able to bring something home to your constituents that's meaningful.
Fallert is running unopposed in the August 7th primary, but he will face off against the Republican candidate in the November election for the state Senate's 3rd district. American Legion Post 281 in Piedmont is looking for military artifacts to put on display. Post Commander Philip Baker says many veterans brought back items that were important to them.
Could be anything from, oh my goodness, Japanese bayonet to a Japanese rifle. Seen many of them around, heard stories of them. Even personal items. One family called me in regard to her grandfather was a POW in the Bataan Death March, and he had a Purple Heart.
Bunker says if an item has a story behind it, they'd like to share that with the community in their artifact display case.
A lot of this stuff is just sitting around in drawers and boxes in the attic, and nobody really gets a chance to appreciate it. And I know families hate to part with those items, but, if they're on display where the public can enjoy them and understand the story behind them, it does a lot more good than just being packed away.
All items are displayed with the name of the donor, description of the item, the story behind it, and if the item is on loan or has been given to the post. When we come back on 18 Eyewitness News, Park Hills will celebrate Independence Day with a concert and fireworks. That story is coming up only on 18 Eyewitness News.
When you're looking for quality home furnishings, appliances, and more, look no further than Heartland Furniture and Appliance. Heartland Furniture and Appliance offers great low prices every day and 6 months same as cash financing. No hassle leasing and great customer service. With 3 locations to better serve you, the customer. In Doniphan, Dexter, and Piedmont on both sides of Main Street. Heartland Furniture and Appliance.
Sing a song about the Heartland. Sing a song about my life.
Oh, the blood of Jesus washes. Let it wash you this morning. Oh, the blood of Jesus shed for me. What a sacrifice that saved my life. With the blood, it is my victory.
You're watching 18 Eyewitness News with Fred Dawkins, Chief Weathercaster Dustin Kopp, and Jeremy Martin with sports. 18 Eyewitness News continues.
Park Hills will celebrate Independence Day this year with a concert and fireworks display. Parks Department Director Dooley Polite invites the community out to the sports complex the evening of July 4th.
At about 6:30 that evening, there at the complex, the Jackson Brothers Band will fire up and they'll play classic rock and blues music, and everything is free.
Dooley says the fireworks will start around 9 o'clock that evening.
Worked on the show quite a bit, tweaked a few things from last year. I think we're going to have a finale that will really light it up this year. Hope to have about a 30 to 35 minute show with something in the air at all times.
The city of Park Hills covers the cost of the concert and fireworks. A 20-year-old Southeast Missouri man will be going to prison after pleading guilty to injuring 2 infants. Last week in Madison County, Jeremy McClanahan was sentenced to 7 years after pleading guilty to child abuse and endangering the welfare of a child. He was accused of severely beating an infant, causing a broken jaw and other injuries. On Monday in Cape Girardeau County Court, McClanahan received 5 years in prison after pleading guilty to endangering the welfare of a child. In that case, he was accused of breaking the collarbone of a 2-month-old infant. 2 Central Missouri school administrators will go to court in July. Principal Mike Harlow and Vice Principal Tracy Casey are accused of withholding information relating to an investigation of school violence. Now, the charge stems from a March 29th incident where a 14-year-old boy kneed a 12-year-old girl, causing a fractured tailbone. 1 week later, Harlow and Casey admitted they were aware of the incident but had not reported it. On July the 5th, Casey will have a hearing to set her trial date, while Harlow goes to trial July 24th. If convicted, they could each receive 1 year in the county jail and a fine of up to $1,000. And still to come on 18 Eyewitness News, Don Arnold tells us why doctors are treating women with breast cancer while keeping an eye on their hearts. That's next in today's Your Health.
Summertime heat is on the way for Southeast Missouri. I have all the details next in weather.
When someone comes in a Mineral Area's emergency department, our focus is giving them the best treatment in the quickest manner possible. We track every single patient, sending the doctors information before they even walk in the room. We have dedicated X-ray and CT equipment in our emergency department. We don't have to waste any time running all over the hospital. We know that minutes count in an emergency, and you can count on ER Plus at Mineral Area Regional Medical Center.
Storm Tracker 18 Weather is brought to you by CNC Distributing.
Devastating tornadoes can destroy your home in just seconds. Are you and your family protected? I'm Clinton Bailey with CNC Distributing, and I want to introduce you to the best storm shelter anywhere. Our storm shelters will seat up to 15 people comfortably. They have lights and ventilation, and most importantly, they will save your family from the devastation of tornadoes. Remember back in the day about everyone had some sort of storm shelter, and now you can too. Let me show you how affordable our storm shelters are. Call me, Clinton, at 573-330-8869.
Now, here's your Storm Tracker 18 weather forecast with Chief Weathercaster Dustin Kopp.
And welcome back. Plenty of hot weather is in store here in southeast Missouri. Let's take a look at our weather headlines. As you can see, hot, and more hot is on the way. Nothing better to explain it than that. And a lot of sunshine to go along with it, and it doesn't look like any rain is in sight. Here in southeast Missouri, temperatures are in the 80s, 87 in Cape Girardeau, 86 in Fredericktown, 87 in Piedmont, a little cooler to our north in St. Genevieve, 85, 84 in Festus, and 84 in Potosi. Here at the station, we have a current temperature of 83 degrees under a sunny sky. Feels like 83 out there with current dew point at 49, 30% humidity, and an east wind at 8 miles per hour. Another warm day is expected for tomorrow, warmer than it was today. Plenty of sunshine through southeast Missouri tomorrow, but we're going to be in the upper 90s. So for tonight, clear skies, low around 55, light to variable winds, 56 in St. Genevieve, 55 in Festus, 58 in Ironton, 55 in Van Buren, and Poplar Bluff at 58 degrees as well. And then tomorrow we're going to be warming things up. 97 for your daytime highs, south wind 5 to 10, plenty of sunshine, 96 in Potosi, 96 in Ellington, 96 in Van Buren, and 95 in Poplar Bluff. The next several days are looking like this here in southeast Missouri. Plenty of sunshine to last for the next several days. We will see pretty much sunshine for the next 7 days at least. Temperatures are going to start warming up. 101 on Thursday, 104 on Friday, Saturday and Sunday, low 100s, 100 on Monday and Tuesday as well. Another look at our weekend forecast here in southeast Missouri, 101 and mostly sunny skies. And then on Sunday, we will see a high of 102 with plenty of sunshine as well. And that's check out your Storm Tracker weather forecast. More details to look at froggy96online.com. Just click on the weather tab. Fred, back to you.
Thanks, Dustin. And now Don Arnold joins us for today's Your Health.
Every year, doctors are helping more and more patients survive breast cancer than ever before. With that in mind, researchers are now beginning to take a closer look at the most popular drugs used to treat the disease. As Clark Powell reports, doctors know how well the drug works to kill cancer. What they want to learn is how it might affect a woman's heart for years to come.
Named partially for its ruby red color, the drug doxorubicin has become a mainstay in the treatment of breast cancer for decades. Linda Nazareth has been treated with it, and so was her grandmother nearly 50 years ago. Even then, there were questions about the impact it may have on a woman's heart.
She would start getting sick as soon as they started the medicine, and it did damage her heart.
But how much damage is done, and just who is at risk, are questions doctors still can't answer with much certainty.
Taking a breath.
So researchers at Ohio State's James Cancer Hospital are using high-definition technology to try and answer those decades-old questions. Normally, when breast cancer patients are treated with this drug, doctors keep tabs on their hearts by using echocardiograms, but those may have their drawbacks.
By the time changes manifest on the echocardiogram, indicating decreased heart function, it's already too late. The damage is done.
So Dr. Charles Shapiro and his team are taking a different approach. During chemotherapy sessions, they're not only collecting blood from patients, but they're also putting them through state-of-the-art cardiac MRIs, using crystal clear images to search for even the smallest signs of damage.
You can see swelling or edema occurring at very early stages. You can also see valvular changes that you may not otherwise see as well.
Doctors insist doxorubicin is generally safe, and only a small percentage of women may be at risk for heart damage. But knowing exactly who they are and when the damage may occur could help them treat even more women more effectively. At Ohio State's James Cancer Hospital, this is Clark Powell reporting.
Researchers at Ohio State say that they will use the blood samples to look for an increase in a certain type of cell that's made in greater numbers when the heart is injured. The outcome of the study could help doctors formulate treatment plans that take into account not only a woman's cancer, but the years of survival after she's cured.
Coming up in today's Your Life segment, we love our pets, but keeping them healthy can get expensive. Money reporter Stacy Johnson has some money-saving ideas.
And coming up in sports, the Cardinals win their 4th in a row, but it wasn't easy. Chris Carpenter has a setback in his rehabilitation, and the Blues turn their attention to free agency. These stories and more coming up in sports on 18 Eyewitness News.
Your health is brought to you by Parkland Health Mart Pharmacy. Parkland Health Mart Pharmacy of Deloge. We're caring for you and about you is our business. From taking time to explain your medication, offering a caring touch, to a full line of medical equipment, supplies, and diabetic shoes. We'll help you understand your options and assist you with Medicare drug plan enrollment with a comfortable waiting area, convenient drive-through or free delivery. Caring for our neighbors is our business. Your locally owned Parkland Health Mart Pharmacy just off of Highway 67 at the Deloge exit. When you're recovering from a traumatic injury, the last thing you need is an unexpected bill. Because most health insurers pay only a part of air transport, Archair Medical has a solution, the Omni Advantage program. For a membership fee of $49 per year, Omni Advantage guarantees you and other covered family members will not have to pay anything that your health insurer doesn't provide. In an extraordinary emergency, the last thing you need to worry about is cost. Contact Archair Medical or visit them on the web to discover all the advantages of Omni Advantage.
This is Sports Zone, only on 18 Eyewitness News with Jeremy Martin.
The Cardinals won their 4th game in a row Monday night in dramatic fashion. Yadier Molina tied the game in the 9th inning with a 2-run, 2-out home run. Rafael Furcal snapped the tie in the 10th, but it was rookie pitcher Joe Kelly's RBI single when he was pressed into duty that proved to be the difference. Closer Jason Mott closed out the 8-7 victory at Marlins Park. Furcal's double scored Tyler Green in the 10th inning for the tie-breaking run, and Kelly, an unexpected pinch hitter, chopped an infield hit for an RBI single to give Mott the cushion to allow a run. The Cardinals extended their winning streak to 4 games, but more importantly, the Redbirds had lost the 26 previous games this season when they trailed after 8 innings before last night's victory. Cardinal starter Chris Carpenter explained that he woke up Sunday morning and felt a renewed sense of weakness in his right shoulder and that it persisted as he attempted to play catch later that day. The lack of strength came 2 days after the right-hander and the organization were thrilled about his pitches to hitters on Friday in Kansas City. He said it would not be wrong to see the similarity between these events and the ones in spring training that led to his prolonged absence. Throw well, but have trouble recovering. He has been unable to maintain the strength in the shoulder that he needs to pitch. Carpenter told reporters, quote, "It's the nerve stuff. We need to find out why it's doing it. That's what we don't know," end quote. Carpenter called missing Monday's throwing session a setback. And now that the NHL draft is over, the Blues are turning their attention to free agents. The Blues are looking for a top 4 defensive men and perhaps a pair of bottom 6 forwards, depending on what happens this week in negotiations with veterans Jamie Langenbrunner and Scott Nickel, who will become unrestricted free agents on Sunday. The Blues have interest in Florida defensiveman Jason Garrison, who is set to become an unrestricted free agent. The 27-year-old Garrison had a career-high 16 goals and 33 assists in the 2011-2012 season, but is reportedly looking for a 5-year, $25 million deal. The Blues have 18 players under contract and are an estimated $28 million under the projected NHL salary cap. General Manager Doug Armstrong has received the parameters of a budget from new owner Tom Stillman, and while it does not allow the Blues to spend to the cap, Armstrong is expected to have more financial flexibility than in recent years. And that's a look at sports. We'll be back with today's Your Live segment right after this on 18 Eyewitness News.
I'm Stacey Johnson. Advances in science mean better health care and bigger bills for most members of the family, including the furry ones. How to keep a lid on your pet's health care costs. That's just ahead on Money Talks News.
If you have diabetes and you're on Medicare, call now to get the new talking meter. These new meters are more accurate, they're easier to use, and the best news is you don't have to prick your fingers anymore. Arriva makes it simple. They bill Medicare directly. There are no upfront costs, and they deliver your supplies right to your door for free.
For more information, call 1-800-587-709.
If you've got a pet, you've got a problem, keeping them healthy without breaking the bank. Now, what's a pet owner to do? Here's some advice from Money reporter Stacey Johnson.
While you wouldn't, or at least shouldn't, consider letting loved ones go without health insurance, there is one member of the family who's probably going without.
97% of Americans don't have health insurance for their pets, and that could be costly.
A dog broke a leg, had a fractured leg. That bill, close to a couple of grand. Very hard for owners to come up with that on their own.
But even if you do pay $15 to $50 a month for insurance, there are pitfalls. For example, some won't cover older pets or genetic conditions specific to some breeds. Some will only cover the first visit for a specific problem. Many won't cover preventative care.
In short, as with people policies, you and your pet are really going to have to go over the fine print in these things. But you know what? There are plenty of other ways you can save on pet health care.
For example, check for discounted services and vaccinations at your local animal shelter. Other ideas? Shop around. Not all vets charge the same, and there's nothing wrong with trying to negotiate lower prices. Next, shop prescriptions. Compare vet prices online and local stores, including warehouse stores.
Finally, don't be penny wise and pound foolish. Make sure your animals get a proper diet. If you're not sure what that is, ask your vet.
And for more specific tips to save on pet care, get the full story at moneytalksnews.com. I'm Stacey Johnson.
And like Stacey said, he's always got lots of information and links at his website. To get there, just go to moneytalksnews.com.
If you or a loved one has been implanted with a pelvic mesh, commonly called a bladder sling, you may be entitled to a significant cash award. Many women implanted with this device have suffered discomfort, excruciating pain, and even incontinence. The FDA has even warned that pelvic meshes may cause serious injuries, including pain, scarring, infection, incontinence, and discomfort. If you or a loved one has been implanted with a pelvic mesh,
call the Rely On Group at 800-797.
Do you see news happening in your neighborhood? Email us at news@kdkz.tv.
I'm almost afraid to ask Dustin Kopp, how hot is the weather going to get? We already know it's going to be hot, but how hot?
Well, I hate to tell you. Let's just take a look at the 7-day forecast. That way it can break it before I do.
Oh, my goodness.
It's going to be warm out there, Fred. We're going to see temperatures in the upper 90s for tomorrow, and then triple-digit temperatures from Thursday to next week.
Wow.
So just be prepared if you go out and about that it's going to be a hot one.
You know, we did a story the other day with the Iron County Health Department, and I interviewed one of the nurses, and I asked her, I said, sunscreen. I said, does it do that much good? And she says, anything up to an SPF 50 is okay, but she said a lot of people are misled by advertising. Anything above 50 doesn't do any good whatsoever.
Right. And there's a misconception, too. Everybody thinks that it's cloudy outside, that they don't have anything to worry about. You're still going to get burnt. And actually, you'll probably get burnt worse when it's cloudy outside than you would if it's just plain sunshine.
Some good tips.
Although you can get burnt pretty bad when it's just plain sunshine too.
Well, you're not a kidding. Anyway, just like Dustin said, be sure that when you go out, take plenty of water with you, hydrate yourself. And the other night, this is a true story, I went home and did some work in the lawn, and I was out digging some holes for some new landscape bushes. And in just a few minutes, I started getting sick at my stomach, and I thought, whoa, I'm getting too hot here, and I didn't even realize it. So keep plenty of water, and like Dustin said, wear your sunscreen, and that way you'll be, pretty well protected.
And you mentioned you got sick. A lot of people, me for example, if it's 85 degrees outside and you're mowing the yard, I get sick from doing it. Just think 105. It's going to be a lot worse.
It's unbearable. So. Folks, thanks for watching. Dustin and I will see you back at 10 o'clock tonight. Until then, have a blessed evening, everybody, and God bless you.
Have a good evening, everybody. Newswatch is next. We'll see you tonight at 10.
Here's what's coming up tonight on KDKZ 18.